Hello. Welcome to the video.
That energy level's up.
I want to talk about a topic.
That would be great if you had one.
I do.
Do you?
Have you heard of a show called Chuggington?
I have heard the name. I know it's CG. I know it's Henson Digital Puppetry. That is the extent of my knowledge. Entirely.
Chuggington. Chugga, 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 chugging. That's the theme song.
Is it?
Yes, and it's kids singing.
Oh, I hate that.
So there are some differences between Chuggington and Thomas, but I'm going to explain why Chuggington is excruciatingly relevant. So Chuggington has
word choice, man. The way you dragged out excruciating was like
it was very excruciating.
It was.
So around the time that Chuggington came out, it was the first time, I say the first time we've seen trains in CG, probably wasn't, but it was the first time they've been like really presented that way in a preschool format. What was really interesting is they took kind of the concept of cars and they took like, because you know how they had like the old cars and the new cars and like, so a lot of the ones that were learning were like young kid diesel engines that were like learning about the railway and safety and stuff, and there were human characters that were helping them. And then there was like the old steam engine that was like talking like a prospector like this, and he was like, yeah. So there was like all sorts of different like varieties of trains like there were on Thomas, but they all had like different personalities, and it was very clear that the three main characters were like children, like very distinctly clear. So
as opposed to Thomas's, we don't have the emotional or mental capacity to be considered adults, and yet we have paying jobs.
Do they get paid?
Do they get paid? They have indentured servitude jobs.
So this show took off and was really successful. These trains also bounced and moved, but they moved real weird. Like, it was weird how much they moved. But this came at a very pivotal time in the Thomas franchise because Thomas was not doing too hot at this time. So then this show, so people complain about Chuggington, and I was like, I mean, when you compare the two together, like, they're so different.
But I feel like you can't complain because it's another train show, because preschoolers and trains
and
have been a long-standing obsession. Well, yeah, talking vehicles is its own category, because then you get things like Tugs and JJ the Jet Plane, and like there's an entire like subgenre of preschool shows that is talking, I was about to say furniture. Nope. Talking
transportation.
I was gonna say machinery. My brain is done. So that'd be the same thing as complaining about like, oh no, it's yet another dinosaur show, because like,
you're right.
Between Barney and The Land Before Time and a million other dinosaur related shows, like, we've all been growing up on that, and then you get Dinosaur Train, which is just called How Do We Put These Things Together?
Yep.
Also Henson.
Yes, also Henson. So Thomas and Friends was not doing too hot at this time, and then Chuggington came out and was super duper successful, and like there was all new merchandise and all sorts of stuff, and the colors are great, and everyone was like, wow, this show's fun and it's energetic and it's got this like it's got energy and it's learning and all sorts of stuff, and all of a sudden like the Thomas people were like, no, we're the only train show. So back up. More or less, that's what happened. That's probably not what happened.
Shut off.
But it was more of a, like, it was a wake-up call for them to be like, oh, our show is continuing to sink.
Yeah.
And this show has very similar concepts to ours and is doing so magnificently well. Yeah. So that was part of the reason that it switched to CG and they started to switch up their, like, writing teams and everything, was because they needed to keep, it was either that or it was going to get canceled, honestly. Yeah. Like, Chuggington was going to run this into the ground.
And off of the rails.
So for people that are super like against Chuggington and how dare somebody like it, it's not a bad show. Like it is a good show. It is a cute show. It's educational. It's got a great format.
I'll take your word for it. I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a cute show. And then the other thing is, without that show, Thomas may not be what it is today. It may not have lasted.
Kick in the pants that they needed.
Yep. I mean, it's kind of like that moment with Black Cauldron and the Care Bears with Disney. Like, that was the kick that they needed to, like, do better.
Yeah. Nothing motivates like spite.
Not even that, but I feel like you have to hit rock bottom in order to, like, build yourself back up. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's really what it came to. Do you agree? Do you like Chuggington and Thomas? Do you like one more than the other? You're watching this because you like Thomas, I guess. Or because you
Here we
subscribed
are.
for Howard Ashman, and then, like, you just were like, wow, what are these other things?
Came for the Ashman, stayed for lots of other children's media. We haven't outgrown
No, we
our
did Chucky.
4-year-old selves.
I didn't like Chucky as a 4-year-old. I liked him as a 7-year-old. I have no idea how old I was when I first watched Child's Play. I don't remember. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.